Tonight's headlines are brought to you by McDonald's.
Tonight on the Channel 2 News, $10 million of dragons could soon be on the move. Also tonight, as the inside of the casino gets emptied out, what happens to the outside? And high school students are looking at a 9 a.m. start time next week as construction delays hamper traffic. In sports, an NMI silver medalist is playing against the pros in California. Stay with us. These stories and more next.
What's the move? Kinda wild out. Catch a groove. She said, where you going? What's the move? Kinda wild out. Catch a groove. What's the move?
Hello, welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order, please?
ご注文はお決まりですか?
The McNuggets of chicken.
I haven't had a Big Mac in a long time.
How many Filet-O-Fishes did you eat? That's over several months, Ryan.
Quiero un McFlurry.
In Puerto Rico, a McFlurry it's called a Señor Flurry.
2 golden menus.
A wonderful crew at McDonald's.
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 They're McDonald's. I'm McDowell's.
Are you gonna order something?
Two dragons fighting over a flaming pearl is a symbol deeply rooted in Chinese mythology. Saipan mythology may soon have bidders fighting over two dragons fighting over a pearl. These dragons were installed inside the IPI casino in 2019. The work aimed to be listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as the largest piece of jewelry ever made. Now it may be the largest piece of jewelry ever foreclosed upon. In federal court, Judge Mona Manglonia has ruled that the dragons, along with other items, can be seized. It's called a writ of execution, and it's due to an attempt by Josh Gray to get paid for damages. Gray was IPI's former director of operations and filed a discrimination suit against the company. Earlier this year, he was granted a judgment in excess of $5 million and is now attempting to collect. Judge Manglonia ordered the court clerk to issue a writ of execution for the seizure of IPI's personal properties, specifically vehicles, liquor, crystal dragons, computer hardware, furniture and equipment, and casino-related security equipment. The dragons span over 60 meters, that's 200 feet, weigh close to 100,000 pounds, and have more than 2.5 million Swarovski crystals. Each crystal is or was illuminated, meaning they can change color. Millions were paid for the purchase and the installation. However, the current value is going to be markedly less. It will be interesting to see what seizure means. While Imperial Pacific assets like dragons and cars and liquor are being seized, it's unclear what's going to happen to the major asset, the unfinished building in Garapan.
It's a disappointment, really, of huge magnitude. But the first thing we need to do is tell Public Works to figure out how to get them to bring down that crane.
The company promised to build over 2,000 hotel rooms. It brought in luxury yachts, hired chefs from around the world, and set up a buying frenzy of real estate around the island of Saipan. Workers came in from China, Mongolia, Turkey, and Italy, but soon they weren't working. They were protesting, and unpaid bills and disputes over bills mounted. Much of the work on the casino structure was being done by illegal workers from China who used the CNMI Parole in Place program to enter the NMI as tourists, when the real purpose was to circumvent labor and immigration protocols and work under the table. Injuries and FBI raids followed, and now an unfinished structure that dominates the Garapan skyline sits in the middle of the tourism district, while attorneys with judgments scramble for assets. The Casino Commission is attempting to revoke the exclusive license the company was given. As the unfinished building continues to sit in the elements, it's unclear whether or when or for how long it may be able to be salvaged.
There's a lot of different overtures and different companies saying, well, we can come in and help. Like, well, how are you going to do that? But we don't want to get ahead of ourselves because there's still litigations, correct? And as much as I want to see that casino either done or do something about it, that's where we're at.
I mean, there's no bond that would pay for knocking it down, but could the landfill even accommodate if it was
concrete structure?
Yeah. What are the options when you look forward to the next 5 or 10 years? Because
we need to figure out whether there's a developer that can finish that building, and whether those developers will come and ask for a casino license or turn it into just a hotel and something functional for our tourism industry and for this Commonwealth. Some people are saying, you know what, you should just go and take it over and turn that casino into a convention center.
any idea? There's been people that have said that the structure is probably
that's another thing that we need to have.
Not salvageable. Do we have the expertise at DPW or to determine if that
we're probably going to have to pay again. There are companies from the Asian region that have expressed interest. Take a look at that. But again, the hurdle right now is the legal part.
Sentencing for a local man convicted of sexual assault could happen by the end of September. A week ago Friday, Kenneth Thomas Bloss Kaipat was found guilty on all counts at a jury trial in front of Superior Court Judge Wes Bogdan. After the guilty verdict, a work release program for Kaipat was rescinded, but he was allowed to stay out of prison and under house arrest, similar to the conditions that were granted during the judicial process. Earlier this week, the NMI filed a motion to reconsider those bail conditions in light of the conviction. Motion was set for argument yesterday morning, but that motion has now been withdrawn. Assistant Attorney General Stephen Kessel said the NMI will consult with the victim as they prepare for the sentencing hearing that could happen at the end of the month. He says due to the nature of the offense, they will be asking for a substantial period of incarceration. The mandatory minimum for sexual assault in the first degree in the CNMI is 8 years, and the maximum sentencing is 30 years. Aggravated assault and battery and assault with a dangerous weapon both carry a mandatory minimum of 40 months and a maximum of 10 years.
Overcoming drug addiction was difficult, but I found a way to get my life back on track. Recognizing my addiction was the first step towards my recovery, but that is not always easy living in the CNMI. It was hard for me to avoid things that triggered my addiction. I needed to change my routine. There were some good days and some bad days. But with the love and support from my friends and family, I never gave up. I found my path and I continue to walk it every day. Find the path that works for you.
This project was supported by a grant from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation. Contents are solely the responsibility of the CHCC and do not necessarily represent the official views of the CDC or the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
One of the best addresses in Saipan has office space available now, right in the heart of things. The Marianas Business Plaza offers reasonable rates and can help build to suit your needs. You'll love the central location, just 15 minutes from the airport and 10 minutes from Garapan. Ample and covered parking keeps your vehicle close and protected. 2 restaurants for easy access, lunch, dinner and business meetings. Building security and 24-hour access to your office. Backup generators, so you can run your business in all weather. And 3 elevators mean easy and convenient access. It's the address in Saipan, the Marianas Business Plaza.
Get your goods here with care and attention with Micronesia Air Cargo Services. MAX is all about connections. Daily flights to and from Guam, 4 times a week to Rota, and bi-weekly flights to Tinian. We are connecting the Marianas. Perishable goods, Home Depot furniture and appliances, even live animals, operating since 2013. Check out our Thursday special to Rota from Guam and Saipan. Call Max at 670-288-6227. If it fits, we'll take it. More tonight on the Boost program with Secretary of Finance Tracy Narita. Finance says that a total of 264 Boost awards were issued, but that is not 264 different companies because some companies were boosted more than once. Of those 264 awards, one company has returned the money. APEC received an award of $50,000, but Finance says that money has been returned. Company official Karen Flores in Guam today did not wish to comment on why that decision was made. This spring, Finance took over the monitoring aspect of the program. Letters went out to awardees to ask them details of how the award money is being spent.
It's mostly receiving and documentation and communication with the recipients as far as any other risks involved for criminal activity or fraud, and that's where it's outside our scope, and I feel comfortable forwarding that to the AG's office for their review and the public auditor for further investigation.
40 companies have not responded to those requested updates. Jess Tysegui, who was one of the Boost decision makers, along with then Governor Torres' Chief of Staff Will Castro, is said to have been connected to 5 companies who ended up receiving over $1 million of Boost money.
That somehow one person who happens to be your business associate and business partner miraculously received 10% of the entire amount that was originally awarded for the Boost program. Sir, you mean to tell all of us that this is just sheer coincidence?
Esta recusal, establishing on a recusal.
Jess Tysegui, who worked at the Department of Commerce, had a number of awards that he had a personal connection to. Is that something Finance is looking into?
So in terms of maybe possible conflicts, I think those are what we will be working with the AG's office on, determining the high-risk flags for each award.
Bank of Guam unveiled their Bank of the Future yesterday in Tamuning, Guam. The newly renovated space features a number of state-of-the-art improvements. The bank has doubled in size at this location, and bank officials have designed a trip to the bank in a way that will change the way people access and use it, including QR code scanning and digital sign-ins that let you check in and then visit area businesses. while you wait for a text that your bank staffer is ready for you. This is a community meeting room available for nonprofit organizations to meet and collaborate. There's also a living wall that brings island life to the inside areas, and local artistry, secure Wi-Fi, and full-function ATMs. The Tamuning branch first opened in 1978. Northfield on Tinian was once one of the busiest airports in the world, but for the last 6 or 7 decades, it's been relatively ignored. And for many, that's a good thing. It has meant a long period of peace in the Pacific. But tensions in the region are starting to flare, and some new training facilities will bring at least some military action back to Tinian.
The region is becoming more and more dangerous, and we are in the business of keeping the peace. That is our primary job. That's what we do every day through deterrence. Should deterrence fail, we have to be ready to fight and win. And when I say fight and win, I mean the entire United States military.
NMI and Guam are the closest part of the American homeland to Asian powers.
As I like to say, you are us and us is you. So many of the men and women from the CNMI serve in our armed forces, and one of the things that we need is to be able to do realistic training.
Kara Johnson's with the Marine Corps. She says the original plan for training facilities has been changed dramatically.
This slide is intended to show the progress that we've made from 2015 when we first issued the draft environmental impact statement to the community. We received a number of comments detailing the concerns that the community and the CNMI government had with our proposal. Those comments caused us to take a step back and work over the ensuing 8 years with the CNMI leadership and stakeholders like the Marianas Visitors Authority, the Commonwealth Ports Authority, to try to understand what was wrong with our initial proposal.
Over the next year, the Marine Corps will be analyzing the impacts of the revised training concepts on people and the environment.
What we want to do now is come to the community and sort of share our thinking on that, the big broad concept, so everyone is aware of what we're talking about, so that when in 2024 we come up with our revised draft EIS, people aren't surprised by it, they're able to comment on it, because again, there will be another comment period for the new draft EIS in 2024. We'll take those comments on board along with the initial comments and work to develop a final EIS with the goal of getting to a record of decision in 2025.
One of the biggest changes people in the region will notice is that Pagan is no longer part of the revised training plan.
As you can see right here, there are no training activities in this proposal on Pagan. There's no air-to-ground explosives being shot. There's no high-hazard impact area. There's no artillery. There's no landing beaches that were proposed right here. This is all in the old proposal. There were 14 live fire ranges. In the new proposal, we don't have any of that. We just have 2 live fire ranges, 1 fire maneuver range. It's a multi-purpose range. As you notice here, there's no landing areas. And then we've also split up the training areas into 8 segments. So for example, if one unit is training down here in training area Alpha 1, let's say it's a platoon, then these other areas will be open to the public. If they want to go to the beach or something like that, they're able to.
Major General Mark Hashimoto says the new proposal will have ground training within the military lease area, aviation training on Northfield, and training support facilities.
Those environmental impact statements can be really lengthy. They can be confusing and overwhelming, and they can be provided to the public with an inadequate amount of time for them to digest all of the information. So what we've been doing is we've been going through a series of events where we roll out the concept in digestible pieces so that people can slowly absorb the information and form opinions about them based on full information. So when the time comes to provide that formal input, that they can do so in a fully informed manner. Joint Region Marianas is the forward headquarters here that coordinates the activities of all the service in the region. But if you speak to some of our subject matter experts here, because of the nature of what we're doing, which is moving through an environmental process and the development of a training range, that involves the service headquarters which is in Washington, D.C. So we have people from our service headquarters in Washington, D.C., as well as the Marine Corps Regional Headquarters in Hawaii.
Tee it up for tourism Labor Day weekend. No ifs, ands, or puts. Check out the Marianas Tourism Golf Classic on Saturday, September the 2nd, West Course. Lau Lau Bay Golf and Resort medal play format with 7 flights, cash, and amazing prizes. And best of all, proceeds benefit the Marianas Tourism Education Council and School My Wave clubs. Registration forms available at Lau Lau Bay MBA or on the Marianas calendar online. You can pay $120 or you can pay $140. So I know what you're thinking. I got some game. How do I get that $120 price? Well, you sign up before August 25th and then you can use that extra $20 for some side action. May the course be with you.
It's okay to take a friend or parent's medication. It came from a doctor, right?
Using someone's prescription is really risky. Taking any drugs for which you have not been medically screened is not only dangerous, but taking an opioid that was not prescribed for you is also illegal. Never borrow and never share prescribed medication. Your life and your loved one's life could depend on it. Talk to your doctor about prescribed opioids. Never mix with alcohol, and remember, never borrow, never share. It only takes a little to lose a lot.
This project was supported by a grant from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation. Contents are solely the responsibility of CHCC and do not necessarily represent the official views of the CDC or the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. At one of Saipan's beaches, this mother lays about 100 eggs under the cover of darkness. She hides her nest as best she can and then slowly makes her way back to the ocean. The eggs hatch and the babies head for the sea, where they will face a daily dose of danger. Just 1 in 1,000 will make it to adulthood. Those that do will one day lay their own eggs. Sea turtles are protected under CNMI law. If you see one that is stranded or if you see illegal activity, call the hotline at 287-8537. Location, location, location. Office space on Capitol Hill available now at the Hermosa Vista Business Park. With natural light and ocean views, it's the perfect place for creative professionals. So upgrade your life and your working environment. Schedule an exclusive showing now. Call us at 670-483-4750 or email hvsaipan@gmail.com.
Buenas sports fans.
Pacific Minigame silver medalist Logan Mister has been barnstorming up and down the west coast of California, also Hawaii and even Japan this summer as he works on his beach game. This weekend he's at an AVP qualifier tournament at Manhattan Beach in Southern California. Logan trying to qualify for the biggest AVP event of the tournament season.
We're here at Manhattan Beach and we just played in a Manhattan Beach Open AVP qualifier. So the qualifier is basically a tournament where it's a single elim tournament where the top 8 teams get in to play in the main draw of the AVP.
Mr. attends the University of Hawaii and teamed up with Andrew Johnson last summer in a battle for the gold medal here on their home court in Saipan. They came up just short, but will head into this year's Pacific Games in the Solomon Islands as medal favorites. The main draw of the Manhattan Beach AVP has the best beach players in the world. Conditions today a bit windy as bad weather is headed towards California.
We won our first match to get in, so yeah. And then we played a really good team our second game and battled, but weren't able to take the win.
Mr. teamed up with a recent partner that he met this summer, Tennessee Folks, and they got to play in front of some Saipan friends and family. Mr. Family made the trip over. Russ and Kenai Quinn also attended, and Mr. and Mrs., the Sokoviches, former NMI swimming coaches.
It's great to be out here in California playing some volleyball. Good vibes, good times.
Hey, golfers, come north and practice your game at the Marianas Driving Range. New Year's local specials. 10-piece coupon books available for just $60. That's a $10 savings. Want to get really good? Come work on your swing every day for just $99 per month. It's our practice pass and you're going to love it. Grab your passes and go straight to the range. You can social distance and chip all at the same time, and the views are free. Reserve now at marianastrekking.com. You can pay online, open 7 days a week.
Hi, I'm Dre, one of the personal trainers here at Goat's Gym, and today we're going to go over the kettlebell deadlift. Fantastic exercise to build overall strength, particularly in the legs and hips. Remember, we want to make sure that our setup is in good position. If you set up in a bad position, it's not going to look good and it's certainly not going to feel good. So a common error setup is obviously a rounded upper back. 2 simple ways of correcting that. All I'm going to have Vince do here is extend his arms up here, and all he's going to do is think about reaching long and pushing his hips back. Reach long and push your hips back. So as you can see, he's already in good position. Now all he's going to do is grab that kettlebell. He's got tension in his legs and in his back. All he's going to do is just stand up tall, finish with his glutes.
This afternoon, scattered showers, partly sunny with a high near 88, east wind 7 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation 30%. Tonight, isolated showers, partly cloudy, lows around 76, east wind 5 to 13 miles per hour. Over the weekend, Saturday looking like partly sunny. That's going to change to mostly cloudy on Saturday night, and partly sunny again on Sunday. Highs near 86, southeast winds of 5 to 8 miles per hour on Sunday. Visibility today 10 miles, high of 88, which feels like 102 with the heat index factored in. East swell over the weekend of 3 to 4 feet, and east winds of 5 knots, changing to southeast winds on Sunday. Enjoy the weekend.